let's talk some day trips. So if you're in Las Cruces, you're visiting, you want to see what the surrounding area has to offer, you gotta go around and see what else there is to do. Because we are a big town, but we have a lot of activities elsewhere. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, it's Kacie in the LC. Keys to the dream, come and ride with me. Homes, views, life where you wanna be. Las Cruces, living Kacie in the LC. Kacie in the LC. Kacie in the LC, yeah. Kacie in the LC, yeah. Kacie in the LC, Las Cruces.
Number one, I already talked about it, is White Sands. People come from all over the world to go to White Sands to take photos, to get married. We have the White Sands International Balloon Festival. Like, this thing is legit. White Sands is legit. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Definitely, you have to go. You have to bring some sleds. It's so much fun. If you don't go with sleds, like, shame on you. Get some sleds from the store and go. Totally worth it. Also, Truth or Consequences is just down the road. Fun fact, Truth or Consequences used to be called Hot Springs, New Mexico, and then there was a game show called Truth or Consequences that challenged a town to change their name, and they would pay for this changing of name and all the publicity that went along with it. So whoever was in charge, worst decision ever, changed the names from Hot Springs, New Mexico to Truth or Consequences. One sounds very, very amazing and worth going to, and one sounds very daring and not that desirable to go to. I didn't choose it. Whoever did, I'm not sure, but I think you messed up back in the day. That's just my 2 cents. But we have natural hot springs. You can go for a day trip, hang out in the hot springs, enjoy. We also have our Elephant Butte Lake right down the street from the hot springs. So you can go and enjoy your time at the lake. You can rent a pontoon boat. You can go on the lake, just check for the water levels, because this is a natural man-made lake. It is the largest lake in New Mexico, and we had to make it ourselves because there was no lakes to actually go and enjoy. So it's man-made, pretty cool. There's at the very bottom an old hospital. And I guess when the water level is low enough, you can see the top of the hospital, which is sad that you can do that, but there it is. And if not, when the water level's high, you can actually go in and see the hospital and I guess swim around. So let's talk about more. We got Cloudcroft, one of my favorite places on earth. It is in the mountains. Elevation is 9,000 feet. It's beautiful. There's trees. There's, like, here, if it's 90 degrees, there it's gonna be 70 degrees. It's amazing. They have some great food. One of the most famous barbecue places in New Mexico. He's won tons of awards. Mad Jack's is down in Cloudcroft. We also have the Cloudcroft Brewery, which they brew their own beer. They have cider for people like me that like cider and don't like beer. We also have oven roasted or oven fired pizza. So good. They have live entertainment at both spots. Such a great place to go. You can walk down Burrow Street. You can go hiking. The OSHA Trail is something that I used to hike all the time, dog friendly and kid friendly. Awesome places to go if you want some colder weather. Then you can go to the City of Rocks. It's volcanic eruption where there's lava rocks, dried lava rocks everywhere. So you can go. When I was a kid, I remember going there and a gnat flew up my nose, so that wasn't pleasant. And that's a memory that has stuck with me for, I don't know, 30 years. So here we are, but it was a fun place to go. I do remember that. I went with my Grandma Katie and Grandpa Jim when they were visiting from San Antonio, Texas. So that was fun. We also have the Gila Cliff Dwellings, which super cool. I did a video about it, but I haven't posted it yet. I'll work on that. But the Gila Cliff Dwellings were really cool. It's where people lived on the side of a mountain. So cool to go and visit. That's worth going to. We have Ruidoso, and Ruidoso has Ski Apache. They have a casino, Into the Mountain Gods Casino, where they have all sorts of activities and fun things themselves to do, water activities, horse riding, all the different things. We have the Space Museum in Alamogordo, and we were part of a photo shoot that they market New Mexico True with, and my kids are in it, so that's kind of a fun thing. Every once in a while I see my kids show up in magazines with space helmet stuff on or whatever. It's kind of fun. So the Space Museum, the first monkey in space, was buried there. That's pretty cool. And there's rockets and all sorts of interactive activities that you can do at the Space Museum. And then next door to the Space Museum is the IMAX theater, which you can watch like 3D interactive movies and fun. So cool. Worth going to for sure. And then also in Alamogordo, we have the Alamogordo Zoo. There's not a lot of zoos here, but in the southern part, Alamogordo is the oldest zoo in New Mexico. And then of course, Albuquerque has one. El Paso has a zoo that you guys can head to. And then we also have the train depot in Alamogordo where the kids can sit on a train and like go around this whole entire park. And then there's like all sorts of stuff. So that part's fun. I grew up in Alamogordo, so there's some fun things to do. Not a ton, but there's some fun things to do. Then you guys can go to Three Rivers if you want and explore and go hiking. And there's a huge pool of water that when we were younger, my Aunt Nancy used to take us to all the time. And we'd go to Three Rivers and jump in this big puddle and pond, and it was super fun. We also have the Petroglyphs. And I don't know if you guys have heard anything about the Petroglyphs, but pretty cool. Like all the old ancient historic writing on rocks. So you can go and visit that. We have Trinity Site, where the first atomic bomb was created and tested. They have tours once a year, so you have to plan that if you're wanting to go to Trinity Site. We have Carlsbad Cavern, which is the huge natural cavern with thousands of bats in it, with stalagmites and stalactites, and super cool, fun experience. If you have little kids, maybe look at it because it is a little bit dangerous, but super fun and totally worth going to visit. What else we got going? Oh, El Paso. So El Paso is just down the street. If you fly here, you're gonna fly into El Paso. So some day trip activities to El Paso, which is iFly, where you can go indoor skydiving, Topgolf, which all my kids love and beg to go all the time. We've got Monkey Pod, which is a place in the mall, but it's a very interactive place that has bowling and arcade games and the virtual reality stuff. Then we have the El Paso Zoo and shopping and other few places. So there is tons of day trip activities to do if you're wanting to explore the neighborhoods. Let's keep moving. So here's a time to be real honest with you guys. As far as kid activities, I think Las Cruces could do better. Like totally. We figure things out and we find things for our kids to do so they're not bored as hell when they come here. But Las Cruces can do better. We almost have over 100,000 in population, yet we hardly have anything for the kids to do. So yes, we have the indoor trampoline Sky Zone park, which my kids love. But other than that, there's not a lot. So we do have our batting cages. We do have an indoor batting facility for kids to go to, but we have to kind of think outside the box. So hiking is huge here and getting back in touch with nature, totally worth it. So we go on a lot of hikes with my family and my kids, and they love it and they love exploring. But we also, a lot of us own side-by-sides and four-wheelers, and we go out in the desert and we rock it and we go and hit the side-by-side and explore and drive for days. And sometimes people go, I mean, I live up against the desert. People drive all night. They have fun. So the kids love to do that. We also take them shooting. I know that that's like a touchy subject, but you know, we live in a place where there's guns. And so we go target practice and shooting around here. So there's things that you have to explore, but that's probably why we have our kids in a lot of sports, because there's not a lot. But there is actually Wet Paint Studio. Wet Paint Studio has a cool thing where she does have different activities for the kids. You just have to look at the calendar of when they have things. But yeah, you guys can go and have that. The different museums actually have different interactive things that you can go. Brannigan Library at NMSU has a really cool Brannigan Library Museum. It's a really cool museum with like dinosaur fossils and super cool stuff that like geodes and all sorts of stuff. That is the one thing, if you're moving here, just know that you're gonna have to try to figure out how to entertain your kids or get a side-by-side. Totally worth it, worth every dime. Before we go on, I kind of want to tell you a little bit about the history of Las Cruces and the Mesilla Valley. We have gone through some stuff being here down by the border and all the wars and all the craziness that has happened. So just so you know, a little history, Las Cruces is actually Spanish for City of Crosses, and it has played a significant role in just the whole development of the American Southwest. We were connected to the historic El Camino Real Trail and its trading routes. Mesilla was actually a huge hub for trade and mercantile. And some of you may or may not know, but Mesilla, the Plaza of Mesilla, that's where Billy the Kid used to roam. That's his hood. That's where he actually stood trial. He was tried and convicted at the courthouse for his murder of the Lincoln County Sheriff, William Brady. So that's a huge pivotal moment in Billy the Kid's life and just I think history, because I think maybe just New Mexicans learned about it, but I'm sure we've all learned about Billy the Kid growing up. What's super cool, and I didn't know this until I actually was doing some research and filming this video, is I mentioned La Posta in one of the video or earlier about visiting La Posta, and I refer people to La Posta all the time because it's just a cool atmosphere. But little did I know, the town also houses La Posta, one of the most storied locations in relation to Billy the Kid. I didn't know this. The site was once the Billy the Kid's jail, and it continues to be a point of interest for those fascinated by the Wild West. So apparently La Posta used to be the jail, and that's where Billy the Kid was housed. So pretty cool indeed. So I told you I wasn't going into crazy detail about our history. I wanted to make it fun, but those are just a few fun historical facts about Las Cruces and Mesilla. Oh, I had one more. So one last fun historical fact about Las Cruces and Mesilla is both of the towns or cities were established after the Mexican-American War. So Mesilla became a significant trading hub along the El Camino Real Trail. And then Las Cruces was actually founded in 1949 by the U.S. Army. So I thought that was pretty cool. And Las Cruces is obviously propelled forward, and its economy and population has far surpassed Mesilla, but Mesilla likes their little town and they want to stay small and quaint. So there's some historical facts. Let's go forward with different laws. So I told you I'm going to talk about gun laws, alcohol laws, watering laws, and talk about our tax exemption. So let's get to it. Gun laws. We are an open carry state, meaning you might come here and you might see somebody in a store packing heat with a pistol on their waist. That is legal. That is okay. And nothing, I guess there's always concern, but it's legal and it's not a big deal because it is an open carry state. You don't have to have a license to carry a gun open and exposed. To get a concealed carry, you do have to take the classes, and there is licensing required with a concealed carry, and so that's completely different. Clearly, you can be concealed carry as well, but as far as going into a store and seeing somebody packing heat, that's okay and that's allowed. So don't panic, don't freak out, especially if you're from a state that is not allowed. Just know that it is. But if you see anything weird or, questionable, you're more than welcome to call non-emergency and report them just in case they are up to no good. Alcohol. Some places don't have this. Maybe everywhere does, and I'm just thinking we're special. But alcohol cannot be served before noon on Sunday. If you're going to, purchase before noon on Sunday. So if you're going to a grocery store, you cannot buy it before noon on Sunday. So you can wait in line. It's like they have it taped off. We actually have cages on our alcohol sections in Walmart or places like that, so you cannot buy alcohol before noon. And you cannot buy alcohol on Christmas Day. I don't know where, but most of our places are closed on Christmas Day anyway, so it's not really a big deal. Watering laws. We are in a severe drought, and we have been my entire life here, so nothing new, but we have water rationing. So you can't water your lawn on any time and any day that you want. There are strict guidelines of when you can water, how long you can water, and certain times of the day you can water. And so it's based off of your address, if you're odd or even. So just be mindful of that. If you do buy a house here and you're watering, or you're renting here and you're watering your lawn, we have watering restrictions, and we don't want codes to give you a ticket just because you didn't know. So don't say I didn't tell you so. I'm telling you now. Tax exemption time. We do not have homestead exemptions like other states like Florida and Texas have, but we do have 4 different types of tax exemptions, property tax exemptions that you can apply for. So the main type of property tax exemption that you can automatically apply for the second you purchase a home is head of household exemption. That's our closest thing to the homestead exemption. It's not significant, and they have not increased it since like 1970. So I think it's time that they actually look into it. So hey guys in the government, like y'all should probably work on this. But it is a $2,000 deduction from the taxable value. So say if your house is $250,000 and that's what you purchased it for, it reduces it by $2,000. So now your taxable amount is based off of $248,000 versus $250,000. So that's how the taxable deductions work. So you just have to pay less on the taxes. The second most common type of taxes is the veterans who were honorably discharged, as well as spouses of deceased veterans. You can apply for the veterans exemption, which is $4,000 reduction in taxable value to your house. These two things can be used in tandem together, which is great. So for a total of $6,000 in total taxable deductions on your property value. The third type of deduction is if you are a veteran and you were deemed 100% disabled, you or your spouse, surviving spouse, are eligible for this exemption, which is 100% property tax abatement. So you do not have to pay taxes whatsoever if you were 100% disabled, which I think a lot of people, that's a lot of reasons we get so many veterans moving here, just because you can't beat these tax implications. Like, it's super nice to not have to worry about property taxes when you're worrying about everything else. The fourth exemption is valuation freezing. Basically, you can freeze your taxes once you hit 65 years of age or older. So say your taxes are $2,000 a year, you can freeze those. So if your property values keep going up, your taxes don't continue to go up, because typically your income goes down or it's at a fixed income. So they fix your tax amount, which is awesome. So those are the different 4 tax amounts, or tax exemptions. So hopefully you guys apply for at least one, if not all of them, to try to help you out. Let's talk dogs. Y'all, I got a dog. I posted about her this morning. We have 2 dogs. One's an old man, doesn't go on walks anymore. One can't wait to get out and explore everything, but doesn't want a car drive. Anyways, for dogs, I have lived here basically my whole life. And any dog that I've ever had is very, very used to rock yards. If you're coming from other places, past clients or my clients have told me that their dogs don't like the rocks. Like, it hurts their paws or it's hot on their paws. Like, my dogs go on the rocks all day long and it doesn't affect them because they are used to it. Like, they've built calluses on their paws, I guess, for it. But just be mindful, if you're coming here with a dog, they may want some booties at the beginning, just especially if you're coming here for the summertime, because the rocks and all the heat, it's a lot for the dog's paws. So just be mindful of that. Also, we don't have a lot of grass. Remember, I did another video of weird things about New Mexico, or weird things about Las Cruces that y'all should pay attention to. And we have rock yards. Pretty much like 90% of our yards are rock. There's not a lot of grass. So if your dog is one that eats grass or needs grass, you may have to install it on your own house. If you're renting, you may have to see if you can install grass or grow grass or put some sod or something, because there's not a lot of grass. We do have a couple dog parks to go to, but like enclosed dog parks. But again, they don't have grass either. It's just rock and things for them to play in. So just keep that in mind. There are parks to go to. You can take your dog, but they have to stay on the leash. And even like when we go to the trails or when we go hiking, it's gravel and it's dirt. Like it's not like the forest where your dog is walking on cold mud or moss, or I don't know, the different forest paths because we have rocks. So keep that in mind with your doggies. We do have like a doggy daycare camp that you can always drop dogs off at. I've never, because I work from home, so my dogs just stay with me. But I know people that do it. So there's also like an aquatic center for dogs where your doggies can go dive. And there's Instagram videos. I'll try to link it. So much fun. The dogs have a blast. So there is like doggy diving during the summertime. So there's different activities for dogs, but the main thing is the pause during the summertime on the rocks.
Yeah, it's Kacie in the LC. Keys to the dream, come and ride with me. Homes, views, life where you wanna be. Las Cruces, living Kacie in the LC. Kacie in the LC. Kacie in the LC. Yeah. Kacie in the LC. Yeah. Kacie in the LC. Las Cruces. It's where you wanna be.